Okay, I think we're going live here. So hey guys, I just got done watching the Apple event where they released 4 big products, or 4 products that I think are catching everyone's attention. First of all, the new Apple Watch Series 3 got announced. So I want to talk about the Apple Watch Series 3. There's definitely some things that are improved on the new Apple Watch Series 3 that I want to talk about, especially in regards to health and fitness. And then I also want to talk about, just because it's tech and it's interesting, I want to talk about the new iPhones that got released, the 3 new iPhones. So the new Apple Watch Series 3 and then the 3 new iPhones. So let me kind of pull out my cheat sheet here. I have my iPad. So just full disclosure, I am a big fan of Apple products, and I use an iPad. I'm shooting this live video right now on YouTube using my iPhone 7 Plus. I use a brand new 2017 iMac to shoot all of my videos, and somebody's saying except, yeah, so I have mixed feelings about Apple's announcements here today. There's some things that I really like, and there's some things that I think are kind of disappointing, I guess. So first, let's talk about since this is, Techie Agent channel where we do fitness reviews and stuff, let's talk about the new Apple Watch Series 3. The Apple Watch Series 3 has a lot in common with the previous generation Series 2. So it has built-in GPS. Should be an obvious one, but obviously that will continue to make it a decent watch for tracking distance for sports like jogging, cycling, hiking, and those kinds of things. It's what they're calling swim-proof or waterproof, so you can take this with you swimming, and it will have some swim tracking features. It's going to have the obvious stuff like a faster processor. I mean, it wouldn't be a new watch if it wasn't a little bit snappier, a little bit faster. Now, the one new feature that it does have, or the one new sensor, I should say, that it has that will really improve, I think, some health and fitness tracking is the barometric altimeter. So what that means is the watch will now have the capability to look to measure barometric differences. So in theory, it's supposed to help, tracking things like going up flights of steps, but barometric altimeters aren't quite that calibrated and quite that accurate. So step counts in terms of like how many flights of steps you go up, that's going to be a little bit inaccurate in my opinion, just based on even things like the Fenix 5X, which has a very good barometric altimeter. Where that sensor is really going to come into play is when you're going on extended runs, bike rides, and hiking, and it will be able to detect, native to the watch, differences in your altitude. So you'll be able to it'll be able to track those differences. And so that's something that's necessary on any GPS watch, in my opinion. Any GPS watch needs to have a barometric altimeter in it just to detect differences as you go uphill or downhill. That information is helpful because you can go back later on, you can look at your heart rate information and you can see, okay, yeah, my heart rate was going up as I was going up this incline. And you can begin to see how hills and altitude adjustments affect things like your heart rate. So that was a necessary addition if Apple Watch is going to be taken seriously as a GPS watch, so it was good to see them add that addition. So that's the barometric altimeter. Another feature that could arguably be an improvement is that now it will have the ability, if you purchase the nicer version, it will have cellular ability, which means you'll be able to stream your music to the watch while you go for a run, while you go for a hike, whatever it may be. You can leave your phone behind and you can stream your music while you're doing your exercise. So that's kind of a neat feature. Now, it looks like it will pair with most of the major carriers in the United States. However, what the cost is going to be associated with that, they weren't very specific on, if for example, I use T-Mobile, I know a lot of people use Verizon. Verizon's a big carrier in my area at least. Are the carriers going to charge you for that additional cellular feature on your watch? Probably so. Is it going to be $10 a month? Is it going to be $20 a month? who knows? But just for that added feature of being able to stream music to your directly from your watch, that's going to probably cost you money. So it's not like you just buy the watch and you get that feature free of charge. To tap into that feature, it's going to be a monthly charge to use that. So that's kind of a disappointment. It would have been, I think, really cool to see if there was a way to somehow clone your existing SIM card on your phone and use it in your Apple Watch, when you leave your phone behind, if there was a way to turn on the cellular feature on your watch and use that instead of using your phone. It does not appear that that's how the feature works. It is a separate SIM card that does tie in somehow to your phone number and all of your data plan, but it's going to be something that you probably have to purchase an additional data plan from your carrier in addition to the plan you already have. So that kind of sucks. So for me personally, it's like if it's not worth it to have that streaming music feature and to make calls on my watch for an additional $10 a month for my carrier or whatever it may be. So supposedly Apple said that carriers are going to be offering introductory pricing points that are probably going to be attractive to try to get people hooked on that feature. But just the idea of having yet another data bill in order to stream music from my watch, it's like, is it really that big of a deal to take my phone along with me so when I want to do a run or do a hike or do a jog, so I'm not paying that charge? Probably so. I think that's probably what I would do. So I was a little bit disappointed just to see that feature is going to probably cost the user on an ongoing basis. But it's there for you. If that's an important feature, at least you have it now. So in terms of all the other hardware on the watch, it is the same as the Series 2. Even the heart rate sensor, they talked about the heart rate sensor being improved, but it's not really the hardware, it's just the software end of things. So it's the same exact heart rate sensor as the previous generation Series 2. Now, with that being said, they are kind of rolling out some improvements on the heart rate tracking. They're going to give you notifications on the wrist if your heart rate elevates when it doesn't detect movement. So if you have some sort of heart abnormality, then the Apple Watch may be beneficial in letting you know that, hey, something could be wrong. Your heart rate is doing these funky things right now. You may want to check that out. So that's kind of a neat feature. But my personal opinion is that the Apple Watch Series 3 is more of like an Apple Watch Series 2S upgrade. It wasn't a huge upgrade. And as a matter of fact, Kendra just commented, excited for the new software update. And as it pertains to the Apple Watch Series 3 to the Apple Watch Series 2, things like the new, since it's using the same heart rate sensor as the Series 2, some of the features that are available on the Apple Watch Series 3 will inevitably be available through the new OS, the Watch OS 4. Some of those features will be backwards compatible with the original hardware of the Series 2. So my opinion is that it's probably not going to be worth the upgrade for any of you who have a Series 1 or a Series 2 watch. It's probably not going to be worth the upgrade to get the Apple Watch Series 3. You're going to get virtually the same experience, and the features that are going to be improved, or the features that you get in addition to what you have before or what you currently have, aren't going to be that much. So it's not a huge upgrade. So that's the Apple Watch Series 3. It's decent, but not enough of an upgrade for me to want to take it with me. Here's the other thing. The Apple Watch already has the ability to store music on the device natively with the Apple Watch Series 2. So if it has that ability, there's no real need, in my opinion, to go for a run or go for a jog and be able to access the 40 million songs that they're talking about, where you can stream it using their cellular service, which you have to pay for. You can already stream music from the Apple Watch just by putting your playlists that you want to use while you go for your run, just storing that music natively to the watch, and then you don't have to pay for the cellular charge in addition to to your data plan that you already pay for on your phone. So there's some workarounds, and in my opinion, the Apple Watch Series 3 was a moderate improvement over the Series 2, but not substantial. And so I'll of course be purchasing the Apple Watch Series 3 and doing a review on it, but I actually don't anticipate any I guess noticeable differences in terms of fitness tracking and stuff from the previous generation Apple Watch Series 2. So that's the Apple Watch Series 2. Now let me flip to my notes here. I got my iPad to act as my notes. I want to talk about the new iPhone 8, the new iPhone 8 Plus, and then the iPhone X. So the new iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are really kind of like the 7S versions that they're releasing, and then the iPhone X is really the real phone, in my opinion, that Apple is launching. So the new iPhone 8 and 8 Plus look very similar to the current iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. Moderate camera improvements, moderate screen improvements, and performance bumps. And so it is truly, they are just moderate improvements all around on the cameras, on the specs, but nothing standout, nothing substantial. And so really, for anyone who's got an iPhone 7 or a 7 Plus, the iPhone 8 doesn't make a whole lot of sense, in my opinion, because it's just moderate improvements. Unless you really feel like the need to have the best in terms of camera quality, the best in terms of performance on your phone, it's not going to make a lot of sense to upgrade. Now, the question could be for many of you, should I upgrade from my iPhone 7 or 6S to the new iPhone X? And so design-wise, it is a very attractive looking phone. It is kind of getting modern, up with the times, competing, with the new Samsung phones in terms of just having that kind of bevel-less look where there's not the bevel, and you're kind of getting a screen, nothing but a screen on the face of the device. So they've definitely improved that. Now, I actually don't like, I don't like the new iPhone X. That little tongue or sensor area at the top of the device, like when you're taking pictures or watching video, you're getting a portion of your video kind of cropped in or cut off with that weird bevel that kind of sticks out into the middle of the screen. So like when you're looking at a traditional screen, you're used to just seeing, the rectangular shape and being able to see everything within that rectangle. But on the new iPhone X, you're going to have this rectangle, and then you're going to have like the little cutout where all those sensors are at, and that's going to actually cut in on your screen when you're taking pictures and video, or when you're looking at pictures and watching video. So I really like and appreciate that they are kind of upgrading the screen to an OLED display. It's going to be a much better looking display. It's going to have less power consumption, so the battery life is they're saying you're going to get an extra couple of hours of battery life from it over the iPhone 8 Plus. But I just don't love that little bevel, that little tongue, that little lip, whatever, that little sensor area kind of cutting in on the rectangular screen. Plus, Brian Lancaster's saying it's $1,000 for the 64 megabyte version. $1,000. $1,000. I don't know how many times I can say that. $1,000. That's just an insane price point. I almost can't believe that phones are getting to that price. I mean, I guess I can. The hardware on them is amazing, but we're getting to the point now where our phones cost as much as Apple's low-end laptops. I mean, you can go get an Apple, a brand new, like Apple computer, like their lowest tier computers start at about $1,000, and so that to me is just crazy that we're getting to that price point now of $1,000. Somebody's saying here $1,000 for a phone is stupid. I agree. Okay, do I like the product? Yeah, I think it looks like a compelling product, and I would actually be tempted to even upgrade from my iPhone 7 Plus, which is working just fine. I would be tempted to upgrade to the iPhone X or iPhone 10. If it was maybe $700, $699, $700. I think that's what I paid for my iPhone 7 or thereabouts. But man, $1,000. That's just insane to me. So yeah, I wasn't totally sold on the iPhone X just in terms of the price And the other thing I don't love actually is the Face ID. So with Touch ID, I don't know how many times I'm like using my iPad or something and it's sitting on a table, and I can just take my finger and unlock it without looking at my iPad or looking at my phone. There's a lot of times where I'm pushing the button to activate my phone when it's on a table and I'm not looking at it. But now you will have to physically pick up your phone and point it at your face in order to get it to unlock. And Face ID technology is still glitchy. I mean, it glitched out on them in the middle of when they first tried it. I don't know if you saw, I forget the speaker's name, but it glitched out on them, and they tried to kind of cover that up at their debut. So Face ID technology is just inherently not as secure as the fingerprint technology or fingerprint unlocking is. And so them doing away with the Touch ID, to me, was a bad move. Now, if they did the Face ID in conjunction with Touch ID, if they had even put like the Touch ID on the back of the phone because they want to leave the screen, completely open, then I would have been, thinking like, okay, great, they've added Face ID. It's an additional feature, and we still have the Touch ID in case, I don't want to pick up my phone, or in case I want to unlock my phone when it's still on a table or something like that. But Apple is now in this weird mode where, in order to debut a new feature, they are cannibalizing and taking away other features that are still helpful. I mean, they did this with the headphone jack on the iPhone 7. Remember, because of Courage. And so they're releasing these new products now, and we're seeing this with the iPhone X, where yes, we get an additional new feature. That's great, but please don't take away the old features, which are still very important to many of us and very helpful to many of us. So I guess I'm on a rant here, on a live rant of all things, but I was really frustrated with today's announcements. Yes, the Apple Watch Series 3, it was a modest improvement, and that's okay. I kind of expected that from the Apple Watch. A modest improvement. The iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus, modest improvement, which I can get on board with, because the iPhone 7 was a pretty big leap forward. The iPhone 7 Plus was a pretty big leap forward. So this was kind of the 7S year, even though they're calling it the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus. But I guess I was really disappointed with the iPhone X. That was kind of the kicker. It was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, was that it was it was a great product, and it just has too many possible issues for me to want to be an early adopter and to run out there and put down $1,000 on this new product. So guys, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I was disappointed, and I just want to be honest. Like, again, if anybody's an Apple fanboy, I guess you could accuse me of being an Apple fanboy. I have two iPads, one for me, one for my wife, an iPad for each of my kids. So I have 4 iPads total. I have an iMac computer. I'm shooting this on an iPhone. I mean, I use exclusively Apple products. I'm usually the one that's completely on board with what Apple's doing. And I was really let down, I feel like, with these announcements. I just felt like it was modest improvements all around, which I would have been okay with that. I would have been okay, I guess, if they had just done the Apple Watch Series 3 and an Apple Watch 8, or the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus, and kind of said like, hey, this is our upgrade year. This is our S year. This is actually more of like the iPhone 7S. I would have been okay with that. But then when they come out and they release the iPhone X at $1,000 with the Face ID that glitches out on them in the middle of them actually debuting the product, that's where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, is this for real? Like, so I'm frustrated. I'm not at the point where I'm ready to abandon Apple in terms of like looking for another ecosystem. I still love my iPhone, and I love my iPad, and I love my iMac computer, and I'm going to continue to use those. It was just disappointing to see that they're continuing to release products that don't wow me anymore. They're just always just these modest improvements, and in some cases they're taking away features that that I still use and look forward to using, and so that's kind of frustrating. So that's my opinion. That's my 20-minute rant here. Gosh, I can't believe I've never done like a 20-minute live video before. I guess it just shows you how pissed I am at this. So feel free to let me know in the comments below what your opinion was. on the event. If there's any products that you guys are interested in picking up, or maybe you have some pushback, or maybe you saw something on the Apple event live stream that I missed that would maybe turn my opinion around. So let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you guys think about the event. And other than that, I'll let you guys go. So thanks for watching. My name is Eric, the Techie Agent. We'll catch you next time.